Eagle News. Hello, I'm Anju.
And I'm Ava.
We're so glad you could join us today. In today's episode, we will report about Eversole Run Middle School news, national news, Ohio news, teacher focus, science news, riddles, technology news, and much, much more.
In Eversole News, if you are missing any belongings and you believe you left them at school, please check the lost and found located in our cafeteria for any items you're missing.
On this day in history, in 1965, the first spacewalk took place as the Soviet cosmonaut Alex Leonov went outside his Voskhod 2 capsule secured by a rope.
In National Day calendar news, today is National Awkward Moments Day, National Triangle Day, and National Ladybug Day.
Fun fact of the day, the different colors of Fruit Loops cereal all taste the same and they're not individual flavors.
In language arts news, what is a genre? Genre is an organization of literature into categories based on the type of writing the piece exemplifies throughout its content, form, or style. Here are a few different types of genres in literature. Let's examine a few of them. Poetry. Poetry is a major literary genre that can take many forms. Some common characteristics that poetry shares are that it is written in lines and has meter and rhythm. And prose. Prose is a type of writing that is written through the use of sentences. These sentences are combined to form paragraphs. This type of writing is broad and includes both fiction and nonfiction. Now for this weekend's weather.
This is this weekend's weather. On Friday, there's a high of 73, a low of 60, and a 50% chance of rain. On Saturday, there's a high of 79, a low of 65, and a 20% chance of rain. And on Sunday, there's an high of 83, a low of 65, and a 20% chance of rain. That's this. In science news, what is oceanography? Oceanography is the study of physical, chemical, and biological features of the ocean, including the ocean's ancient history, its current condition, and its future. In a time when the ocean is threatened by climate change and pollution, coastlines are eroding, and entire species of marine life are at risk of extinction. The role of oceanographers may be more important now than it ever has been.
In math news, operations are a mathematical process involving addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, squaring, square roots, etc. All the given symbols in mathematics are known as operators. An inverse operation reverses the effect of the first operation. For example, if we operated adding the two numbers, say 5 plus 3 equals 8, the inverse operation of this would be the subtraction of these two numbers, 5 minus 3 equals 2.
In social studies news, what were the causes of the Revolutionary War? The road leading up to the American Revolution didn't happen overnight. It took several years and many events to push the colonists to a point where they wanted to fight for their independence. Prior to 1764, the British government had pretty much left the colonists alone to govern themselves. In 1764, they began to impose new laws and taxes. They implemented a number of laws, including the Sugar Act, Currency Act, Quartering Act, and the Stamp Act. The colonists were not happy with the new taxes. They said they should not have to pay British taxes because they had no representatives in the British Parliament. Their motto became, "No taxation without representation." As you can see, there were many reasons the Revolutionary War took place.
In health news, research indicates that staying physically active can help prevent or delay certain diseases, including some cancers, heart disease, and diabetes, and also relieve depression and improve mood. Inactivity often accompanies advancing age, but it doesn't have to. Like exercise, your eating habits are not often good if you live and eat alone. It's important for successful aging to eat foods rich in nutrients and avoid the empty calories in candies and sweets.
Inspirational quote of the day, believe you can and you're halfway there by Theodore Roosevelt. I think this means always believe in yourself. Every expert was once a beginner too.
Next up is Eagle Recognition Awards. If you hear your name, please go to the office and see Mrs. Moses to claim your prize.
This is this week's Eagle Recognition Awards. Kenneth Brackbelt Nicholas for being service-minded by Miss Cover.
Olivia Brown for being service-minded by Mrs. Moses.
Alex Aroshevich for having ownership by Miss Cook.
Quinn Morrow for being service-minded by Mrs. Moses.
Jules Reimuth for having ownership by Miss Greco.
Dallas Shaver for being service-minded by Mrs. Greco.
Harvey Ponder for being service-minded by Miss Phelps.
Asha Goyle for being service-minded, having ownership, acceptance, and respect by Mrs. Burkall.
Aryan Kondikar for being service-minded by Miss Jurger.
William Starin for being service-minded and having ownership by Mrs. Jurger.
Well, that's Eagle News for today. If you have a story you would like to have featured on Eagle News, please let Mr. McNeil know. Here at Eversole, we are creating a community of excellence by being positive, working hard, and respecting the uniqueness of ourselves and each other. Have an amazing